in these green oracles, which you guys are very much familiar with. But this is for Taurus. Let's see what comes out here for you, Taurus. Let's get it. This is for Taurus. Taurus. Thank you. One more. Oh, there was another one trying to come out. It looks like Pursuit was trying to come out. I'll keep that in mind. Taurus. Taurus. Ooh, all right. So 3 wanted to come out all together, and that's not unusual for you because you always have that type of energy where you have to get a little bit extra. You're the opposite sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio always get extra cards. All right, so this is not bad. I love the fact that I see abundance in your reading. The only card that I see that will even remotely have any kind of, I'm not going to say it's negative, you just have resiliency. We're going to find out why that's showing up in your reading when we get into the tarot, but let's get into it. You have depth. This talks about the deep things in life, no longer looking at the superficial, the surface. This is, your knowledge. Maybe it has something to do with you going back to school, getting deeper knowledge or deeper information about a certain subject. This could have something to do with love. You want the deep kind of love, not the superficial kind of love. You want the real thing. I actually believe that that card came out for Aquarius. So you could have Aquarius in your chart, or you could be dealing with an Aquarius. But I see that there's going to be something very deep happening for you this year, something profound. I also feel like with deep energy, it talks about the profoundest experience. So I do see something profound happening here. Now, abundance is good. I used to tell you guys before, abundance to me does not mean, just money. Okay. I do see it. All right. And right now you guys are you're in favor of the gods at the moment. And I do believe that that's what's bringing this abundance energy into your life. Now, for me, abundance is not just material. I feel like abundance is the way you feel, your joy, your happiness, your vibrancy. All of those things include the abundant energy. Okay. But we're going to see in the reading if it's all of the above. It could be your joy, it could be money. We're going to see. And the last card that we have here is solitude. Okay, so I feel like these two cards are feeding off each other because you had resiliency and solitude. Sometimes when you're going through things, resiliency is like persevering, the need to persevere. Okay. And solitude is like going within, taking time to yourself to recalibrate your emotional state, recalibrate the way you think. Okay. So I do feel like solitude also talks about a sense of singleness. For some of you, you may just need to pull back from someone so you can figure out what it is that you want in a relationship. But this is a state of aloneness. Okay. And it doesn't have to be like a stretch. It just means that you need this time to think. You need to go within. And we're going to find out why that's coming out in your reading. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is pull these cards to the side. This was a bonus for you because I was not doing this with every sign. I did not pull this for every sign for you. I was just told to pull it for you. But we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. We're going to see what's going to come out for you, Taurus. Let's push this to the side for a second. This is for Taurus. Let's see what's coming out here for Taurus. Thank you. All right, Taurus, you have the Strength card coming out in your first position. Now, this reading is different. Like I said before, we're going to pay attention to the actual art. I never do that. But I'm starting to realize that the art has so many things to tell you more than once. Like, it looks different every time you pull the card, believe it or not. Now, the Strength card is in harmony with that resiliency. Remember, we saw the resiliency that talks about the need to persevere, to be strong in a certain situation. This could be stand strong when it comes down to you, keeping your word about when it comes down to leaving someone. And then the reason why I say that, because I feel like that's something you're going to experience where you're leaving someone that you have feelings for, And you still may have the residue of those feelings, but you have to stand firm. You have to stand strong with that situation. That's just an example, right? But I also feel like it has something to do with the aloneness that you may feel. Some of you, you could be in a relationship and just feel this sense of isolation. I'm not sure what you're tackling, because the strength card to me feels like you're tackling something. And when we get into the reading, we're going to find out what it's really talking about. What are you tackling specifically? And I know it's going to be different, but I'm curious to see what it's going to say. But you're going to overcome. Why? Because the tiger in this picture, I don't know if you guys can see that. You notice the tiger is the thing that's bound in that picture, and she's sitting on top of it. Now, I'm pretty sure before this was not the case. I'm pretty sure before the tiger was like all in her face. She thought that she was going to be torn apart, right? And now she's in a sense of peace. She has the peace sign up, meaning that whatever it is that she was facing, she's no longer facing those situations. Okay? And if you pay attention, there's water. I believe this is water on the ground. I believe. I think that's a reflection of water. Oh no, she's in a tree, y'all. She's in a tree. So this is you elevating. So it's interesting when you look at this card, it's not just about you overcoming. There's this elevation that has happened to you as well. So it makes sense, the reason why we saw the abundance. Tackling monsters, tackling, certain stubborn situations that have been in your life for a very long time. And this even means your feelings too. This is a volcano that's behind her. This is also your emotional state. For some of you, you may have I'm talking about emotional outbursts. And I want you guys to be careful with those type of energies, because sometimes resentment can come from the strength card, because you have gone through so much and that you have that energy of persevering. Oh, I'm tired. That tired energy, it can come off as resentment, but the volcano is not active. But it is a warning. It is a warning to keep it dormant. Okay, but it's there. All right. But I love the fact that there's a lot of prosperity or things blooming or blossoming around her, but she ultimately has tied down a thing that was threatening her in some kind of way, or keeping her held hostage with this strength card. And the 8 talks about change too. Some of you are dealing with a Scorpio. We talked about it earlier in the read, but I know Scorpio is the 8th house. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio or a Leo. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going. This is going to be for Taurus. Oh, I really did not want 2 cards. I don't know why your cards are coming out so fast. I didn't want 2 cards. It was supposed to be 1 at a time. The next card you have here is the Queen of Swords. Okay, now it's so crazy, because remember when I talked about that dormant volcano, the Queen of Swords, it's, she could be firm, right? But she doesn't have to be nasty, right? But the thing is, the warning here is to make sure you don't come off that way. When you have discussions with people, when you're in communications with people, don't come off, in a way of being nasty, because again, that energy is in you because of the things that you've experienced, okay? Now, I like the fact that in a stronger position with the Queen of Swords, it's all of her keeping her boundaries and not allowing certain people or things to overcome her, or to basically disregard. Okay, because sometimes with the Queen of Swords, the only reason why she's in this position is because people are disregarding her feelings. No, someone isn't paying attention to what you're saying. And so the sword is a vocal energy. You're going to be able to express yourself in a diplomatic way. You got it? In a more diplomatic way. But there is some energies that I feel that's within you that, I don't know. I don't want to say it's anger, but I almost feel like, to a certain degree, some of you guys may get angry because of the sense of betrayal, because you feel like, you gave out so much energy, time, and energy to someone, and they did not reciprocate that energy back. Okay. but you are on a victory ride. The queen is sitting on her throne. You're not on the ground. So you are elevating, like we saw with the strength card. Now, the next card here that came out was the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is a peaceful energy. So out of all of that we saw, right, there's really no need to fight. This is only protection for you. This is only saying no, no further, no longer, I won't allow. That's the only thing that the Queen of Swords is saying. And sometimes you have to convince yourself of that. This is not about convincing anybody else. This is you convincing yourself. But at the end of things, the peace is coming because now you have stuck to your guns. And I want to say the peace and the solitude go hand in hand. Because you have to think before you get to this Queen of Swords energy. You have to go within. There has to be some work that's being done here with the solitude for you to actually get to this Queen of Swords position. I do feel like you have been taken advantage of. I do feel like you have allowed, to a certain extent, people taking advantage of you. And this is not victim blaming. You guys already know. But meaning you knew what it was about. You know what the situation is even now, and you allow certain things to continue. So this talks about you're going to have to take a look on the inside. How are you contributing to someone mistreating you or taking advantage of you? What are you doing? So because of this solitude energy and you going within, you finally say enough is enough here with the Queen of Swords. This could be with anybody. This is the reason why I'm not catering this towards relationships, because this can happen with your friends or your family. Okay? It's whoever is taking advantage of you in some kind of way. And it may have been very hard for you to say no. So the peace comes because of that. That's the only way peace will come. So here with the Six of Swords, some of you may actually have to move away. Because the Queen of Swords talks about cutting people off as well. Withdrawing from someone. Withdrawing could be moving, traveling, moving away from someone. Because, yeah, you may have your guard up with people, but at the same time, if they're in your house, it's hard for you to have a peace of mind or maintain the sense of peace. So there's drastic measures that some of you are taking in order to be at this place of like tranquility. Okay. And I love the fact that the Six of Swords is that she's looking forward and there's this optimism that's here. It's a lot of, I don't know why I feel a lot of six energy here. It's not just this one. I feel like it was another one that tried to come out earlier, or it's actually two. So I feel like some of you are going to be leaving your working career because there's something about what you do. I don't know if you're having fights with people at your job. I don't know if there's some type of problem with your boss where, you can have tyrannical, overseers, right? To a certain degree, like bosses or whatever. And sometimes the Six of Swords is like you're moving departments or you're going to leave that job, and where it's going to be a little bit more settled, you'll have a more so of a peace of mind. But I don't know what it is about that Six of Swords that's making me believe that you are extremely optimistic. You're not frightened about this movement. You're not frightened about this moving forward. You're not. It's just something that she sees. If you pay attention, she is looking forward, not looking back. There's something that she's looking at. This is you knowing something when you move away. Okay? So I like the fact that the universe is not keeping you in the dark, because she's not in the dark. And you're going to know what I'm talking about when you get to this place, whether it is you leaving your job, you leaving the place of where you live, you leaving someone, you will not be in the dark. And what's on the other side of the Six of Swords? The abundance, because you can't worry about your money, right? You're not at peace. You can't worry about your family members. If they're getting on your nerve, you won't be at peace. You can't worry about relationships either. This is anything that's bothersome in your life. So there's something that she knows, and that is exactly where you guys are going to be. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the Astro deck here, and we're going to use the stars to tell us what you're going to be experiencing or what's sitting in your house. What's the most powerful energy right now for you, Taurus? This is for Taurus. Gotcha. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't Venus abundance? Isn't that abundance? You had it twice. Two different cards, two different oracles. Remember when I said that this is going to be about the deep things, the thing like with love, because, you know, Venus is a love energy. And I said there's going to be a deep love, right? Now, if I had to be specific, because this reading is not necessarily specific, but if I had to be specific, if this was a love, romantic love, this is going to be pretty deep. This is going to be pretty deep. I'm not really sure who you're coming across, but I do feel like there's going to be a really nice individual who you're going to develop deep feelings for. And also, whatever you're fighting through, Venus gives you comfort. Okay? It's like that friend that's there. It's the information that you need in order to get out of a situation. Venus is really helping you, and it's the Lord of you. Yeah, you get it? So that's the reason why I said that abundance card in the beginning was really helping you, because whatever you were experiencing, it's on your side. This is why you're at peace here with that Six of Swords. I'm telling you, something really is going to happen. Let me give you a PSA. Everyone had a PSA. You had Saturn at the bottom of the deck. Now, Saturn can feel restrictive, but it also can bring in a spouse. Long-term energy, and it came out with Venus. So this could be the time where you meet your spouse. You're doing all of this different dating. You're talking to these different people and all of that. And then boom, all of a sudden, somebody comes in who's serious, because the Saturn energy does not play that. The Saturn energy does not say that the people who's been running in and out of your life can continue. No, they cannot. It's only people who are serious, and Saturn is serious. It's a serious energy. So it's working in your favor in that way. But I will say for Saturn with Venus, sometimes you may overeat, because we were talking about comfort. I think Venus is the sign of too much sugar, too much sweets, that type of stuff. Overdoing it with what you consume. Because, it can go, the abundance or Venus energy widens things, it's widening your body. Okay. If you know you need to exercise, go out and exercise, stop consuming so many cakes and sweets and stuff like that. So Saturn is telling you have to be disciplined. There needs to be some type of structure in your diet and exercise. Okay. This looked really good. I liked your reading.